Hey, welcome back to CoinFlip. I'm Derek Wu, and I've got my quarter right here because today's episode actually needs it. We're back in student loan land, specifically the save plan mess that apparently refuses to die. If you got one of those 90-day notices from your servicer and just let it sit in your inbox unopened, I get it. Paperwork like that feels like a trap. So first, we'll walk through what actually happens if you ignore it and why the fallout is real, but the panic is a little overblown for most people listening right now. Then there's that September 29th date everyone keeps treating like a countdown clock. Here's the twist. That date isn't universal. Your actual deadline depends on when your notice showed up, not some headline. We'll sort out what that means for you and where you can go switch plans today if you're done waiting around. After that, we're doing what this show does best, turning a confusing decision into an actual decision. RAP versus IBR. Two questions get you most of the way there. Are you chasing forgiveness through PSLF, and are you above or below roughly 80 grand a year? One catch, though. There's a door quietly closing on part of this choice, so it's not a whenever situation. And we'll close out with the lawsuit everyone keeps asking me about, the one that's supposedly going to blow up this whole system. Dry answer, it probably changes less than the headlines suggest. There's a legal deadline landing in 2028 no matter what a judge decides. The boring answer is usually the right answer, and honestly, that holds up here too. So let's start where the anxiety starts. What actually happens the day you just don't open that notice? Picture this. It's July. An email lands from your loan servicer, subject line, something about save plan updates. You skim it, maybe you don't even open it. Life happens. Then it's October. There's a bill, 4 figures, and your brain goes, wait, what? That whiplash? Completely legitimate. You didn't imagine it. Here's what happened while you weren't looking. The college investor reported on July 1st that save borrowers are getting these 90-day notices from servicers like Ed Financial and Nelnet. That clock started running the second that email hit your inbox. And if the 90 days close with no application filed, you don't get another $0 save forbearance payment. You get auto-dropped onto standard repayment or the new tiered standard plan that launched July 1st. Nobody on that system asks what your income is. That's the part that stings. Standard is based on your balance in your loan term, period. Owe $60,000 with 10 years left? The math doesn't care if you got laid off in September. And here's the second gut punch. All that time you spent in save forbearance, sitting at zero, none of it counted toward forgiveness. Standard isn't an income-driven plan, so once you land there, that forgiveness clock stays frozen too. Nobody's coming to fix this for you either. Income-based payments never happen automatically. Somebody has to file the application. That somebody is you. The boring answer is usually the right answer. Open the portal, get it done, before that bill shows up. Now, before anyone spirals, breathe. According to the college investors reporting from yesterday, the Department of Education just filed its final brief in the Havens lawsuit, the one trying to keep this whole save wind down on track. That case isn't resolved yet. A lot of you probably assumed your own window already slammed shut back in September. For most people, it hasn't. So if the calendar isn't the same for everyone, what determines your personal deadline? So, quick correction before anyone circles a date on the fridge calendar. September 29th is the earliest possible cutoff. Plenty of borrowers have way more runway than that. Your 90-day clock starts the moment your servicer actually sends your notice, not when the news covers it, not when your friend gets theirs. CNBC reported that Nelnet alone is notifying almost 3 million borrowers, rolling those out in waves from this July through March of 2027. Which means some people's real deadline is over a year away. Others might already be past due without realizing it. The college investors reporting on these notices points to services working through their list one batch at a time, not blasting everyone at once. Here's the part that trips people up. These notices land as email or a message sitting in your service's portal inbox. So, if you went paperless back in 2019 and never opened that inbox, you're exactly the person who misses this. The fix takes 2 minutes. Log into your account today, find the notice and write the actual date somewhere you'll actually see it. CNBC also flagged something useful. You don't have to wait for a notice at all. Head to studentaid.gov and switch whenever you're ready. No countdown required. 7 million borrowers, 7 million slightly different deadlines. Mildly absurd, but fixable in one login. Once you've got your real date pinned down, the only question left is what you're switching to. With that settled, the real fork in the road is which plan you switch into. 2 questions settle it for almost everyone. Question 1. Are you chasing public service loan forgiveness? If yes, skip everything else I'm about to say about which plan is better. Both RAP and IBR count toward your 120 PSLF payments, so the only math that matters is which plan gives you the lower monthly bill right now. Pick that one. If PSLF isn't in your future, question 2, is your income above or below roughly $80,000? Here's the mechanical difference. RAP charges somewhere between 1% and 10% of your full adjusted gross income, no cap, and wipes the balance after 30 years. IBR works off discretionary income, but it caps your payment at whatever the 10-year standard plan would have charged and forgives at 20 or 25 years, depending on when you borrowed. The college investor ran its own repayment scenarios, and the crossover is pretty clean. Below about $80,000, RAP tends to come out cheaper. Above roughly $90,000, IBR usually wins because that standard plan payment cap starts protecting you more than RAP's percentage of income formula does. In that gap between $80,000 and $90,000, genuinely close, that's a coin flip zone if there ever was one. Run the actual numbers on the RAP calculator before you guess. Now, here's a decision that isn't reversible. Take out any new federal direct loan after July 1, 2026, and you lose IBR eligibility for your entire loan portfolio, old loans included. Time already in IBR carries forward into RAP fine. It just doesn't work the other way. One more wrinkle, and it's a big one. The tax exemption on forgiven student debt expired December 31, 2025. So if you're forgiven under a 30-year IDR timeline, the IRS treats that forgiven balance as income. PSLF forgiveness stays tax-free. That's not a small detail if you're staring down 6 figures forgiven in your 50s. So, PSLF or no? Above or below $80,000? Answer those and the plan picks itself. Now flip that on its head. All of this assumes the rules hold. There's a lawsuit still trying to rewrite them, and a judge who could rule any day. One more piece before we close things out. The lawsuit sitting underneath all of this. The Education Department filed its reply brief in Havens versus Department of Education on August 17th, according to the College Investor. That closes the briefing. Both sides have said everything they're going to say. No hearing scheduled, none required either. A federal judge can rule whenever. The judge has both the injunction request and the motion to dismiss sitting on the desk. Either one could resolve this. So when does that happen? The College Investor's read points to late September as the practical window before the earliest deadlines start expiring. Here's the part that matters even if borrowers somehow win this thing. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act already requires every ICR-type borrower off the old plans by July 1, 2028. That's already the law. RAP and IBR aren't going anywhere no matter what this judge decides. A win here buys time. It doesn't change the destination. So don't wait on it. A pending lawsuit is not a repayment plan. If nothing lands by early October, that silence is your answer. Move. Here's the one ask for today. Find your notice date, run the RAP number against the IBR number for your income, and submit the application. This week, not after some ruling that may never come. File the boring form. Go live your life. All right, let's land the plane. Today was about one message sitting in your inbox, the Save Plan Notice. Skim it in July, forget about it in October, there's a bill, 4 figures, your brain goes, wait, what? That's the scenario we walk through. Miss the window and you get auto-dropped on the standard repayment or the new tiered standard plan. Nobody on that system asks what your income is. But here's the part that should actually calm you down. September 29th isn't everyone's deadline, it's just the earliest one. Your personal 90 days start the day your notice lands, and CNBC reported Nelnet alone is sending those out in waves clear through March of 2027. So check your inbox. Don't panic based on a headline date that might not even apply to you. And if you do need to move, you don't have to wait for your notice. Log into studentaid.gov and switch today. 2 questions get you there. Are you going for PSLF? And is your income above or below that $80,000 mark? Answer those and RAP or IBR picks itself. One more thing before you go. The College Investor reported yesterday that the Education Department just filed its final brief in the Havens lawsuit, so a ruling could land by late September. But even if the ruling swings one way or the other, the 2028 deadline for switching out of SAVE doesn't move. RAP and IBR are still the answer either way. So here's the takeaway. This isn't a decision you need anxiety about. It's a decision you need an inbox check in 10 minutes on a government website for. Made the call already? That's a win. Subscribe so you're ready for whatever we flip next. Stuck on a money decision of your own? Drop it in the reviews. I might just flip a coin on it next week. Thanks for spending this one with me. I'm Derek Wu. This has been CoinFlip. Go check that inbox.